Hello, hi everyone. This is Barb Mangami, also known as Coach B. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope you're having a pleasant day wherever you are. I just wanted to come and share something that I think is absolutely important on your journey of self-mastery. And today I think it's number 8 in our self-mastery series. So I'm going to get right into it. And I want us to look at the emotion of jealousy. You know, I've often heard a lot of people saying jealousy is a useless emotion. None of our emotions are useless, guys. All of our human emotions, and that's why we have them, are there to teach us something. They are the warning signals that something is not okay. And I wanted to look at jealousy today from the perspective of you, me, as the jealous people. Right? And how you can actually use that emotion of jealousy to tell you some things that need to be taken care of, right? And I want to say first off that, guys, there is no human emotion that is either positive or negative. It is what you choose to do with those emotions. It is what you do with those emotions that is either positive or negative. Emotions in and of themselves are with you. Love, joy, all these positive emotions cause you to do something or to be a certain way. Things like jealousy, envy, these are, what else is there? Guilt. These are emotions that you have and they are signaling something to you. What you choose to do with them can be positive or negative, quite honestly, right? So, no judgment here about the emotion of jealousy. Please don't feel like, oh my God, I'm jealous. We are shamed for our shadow selves in this world. We are shamed for our more negative emotions. And that is why most times they are suppressed, they are repressed. And then when you do that, you come into the danger of having these emotions literally like you start acting negatively on these emotions. By the way, guys, I'm not in my office this morning because one of my teenagers is asleep and she's like in a room directly above my office. So she kindly asked me not to be in there yelling. So I am sitting in an area where my puppy is. So if you hear any squeaking, I am so sorry, guys. That's my puppy playing. And there's nothing I can do about that today. So I hope it doesn't distract you. Please pray that it doesn't distract me too, because yeah, it's deep. So let's look at this emotion of jealousy. And I'm going to look at jealousy in the context of an intimate or personal relationship, right? Jealousy is literally one of those emotions that comes upon people when they feel that what they love or what they have is in danger, right? Is in danger. It is literally from a fear of loss, fear of losing someone, right? Envy, on the other hand, is wanting something that someone else has. So we will deal with envy as an emotion on another live, but right now I wanted us to be very clear about what jealousy is. Jealousy literally is an emotion that comes from fear of loss of someone, usually, not something. You don't get jealous of immaterial things. Jealousy is directed towards humans. So it is a loss of someone. The fear of losing someone. And so I want us to look at what causes jealousy. Why are people jealous in relationships? Here we go. One is low self-esteem. If you're jealous, you need to think about what is going on with you and how you see yourself. What is your self-esteem? Right? Number 2, emotional instability can cause jealousy. You need to do an emotional check on yourself and see what about it. Some people, moodiness, anxiety. These are sometimes things that can trigger jealousy. The next thing is insecurity and possessiveness. Hey, manana, hey, Bobo, oh, Jesus, Bobo, how are you? So here's the thing, insecurity and possessiveness. Therein you see that whole idea of fear of loss. But we need to look at why you are possessive of someone. You need to be looking at why you are insecure, right? The other thing is An anxious attachment. What does that mean, anxious attachment? There are some people who are literally addicted to romantic relationships. And the problem with that is if you are in a partnership with someone long enough, you know that you're not always going to have romantic feelings towards someone. The problem with jealous people is that when their partner or friend seems emotionally detached or seems not to be romantically inclined, they start to feel insecure. They start to feel like their partner doesn't love them anymore. And so they are in this constant spiral of feeling okay when there's romance, feeling really jealous when there's not, because they're insecure and they think that the relationship is just about romance. It's a very immature way of looking at relationships, but there's some people who are like that, especially if they've never had a mature relationship modeled for them. They literally think that your partner should be euphoric over you the entire time and want to have his hands all over you all the time. It doesn't work like that. But any time that changes, the person starts to feel insecure. So if the partner says, you know what, I'm just going to go down the street to get a drink, feelings of jealousy arise. Now, here's the problem with jealousy, and we need to be very aware. Jealousy that is not addressed. So there's the jealousy. First and foremost, you need to admit that you feel jealous, because any emotion that is not admitted is going to be repressed. This is where the problem comes, because if you suppress and repress any emotion, there will be an explosion at the most inopportune time, just when you're least expecting it. So your partner gets up and says, I'm just going down the street for cigarettes. Boom! Ah, you're cheating on me. Who are you going with? Why are you going? Oh, I'm coming with you. And your partner's like, actually, I just want some time alone. Oh, really? Who are you going to meet where you're going? It literally is one of those very dangerous emotions. And that's why sometimes people say, stay away from jealous people. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I'm addressing you if you are a person who suffers from jealousy and you don't quite know how to deal with it or what's causing it. Look at the things I've talked about: low self-esteem, emotional instability, feelings of inadequacy, this anxious attachment. Because jealousy is because you have a deep fear of losing something. Right. So here's the thing. Jealousy is not about the other person. It's about you. I've heard people say, well, he does things to make me jealous. No. Or she does things to make me jealous, like, the way she dresses before she goes out. No. She can dress however way she likes to go out. She's not doing it to make you jealous. You are jealous. Own your emotion and then look at the underlying cause of your emotions. People don't like doing things like that, right? And so what does this help you? One of the things you can do is communicate your jealousy to whoever you are jealous of. Communicate it to your friend, communicate it to your partner. And the way you communicate it is really important. And it is important to emphasize that you're feeling that way because you fear losing them. Now, your partner can reassure you and let you know that, no, literally, you're not going to lose me, right? And your partner can also try to do some things to minimize these feelings coming up. But it's not your partner's responsibility to change who they are in order to make you comfortable. Jealousy is a very uncomfortable emotion, so that's why you have to deal with your issues around jealousy. Now, it's a different scenario where trust has been broken, right? People find themselves in situationships, relationships where trust isn't broken, like infidelity, cheating. Their jealousy is justified because this person cannot trust anymore. That's why for a lot of people, they say, well, you know what, if you cheat, that's a deal breaker, because they know that moving forward, trust will always be a problem. Trust is extremely difficult to reestablish. In a situation like that, where you are with a partner who has cheated, your partner then is responsible for ensuring that he or she does things to minimize your jealousy, because they caused that setup in the beginning by breaking your trust. Does that make sense, guys? If it makes sense, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. But other than that, your jealousy, your problem, deal with it. Okay? Deal with it. The next thing I want to talk about is Work on your self-esteem. If you find you're a crazy jealous person, there's something wrong with your self-esteem. There's something wrong with how you perceive yourself. And that is important for you to look at. Stop torturing your partner, stop torturing your friends because you have that issue, right? Sit with yourself and look. And here's the problem, guys, why we have all these, what do they call them? Crimes of passion, which are based on jealousy. It is very dangerous, and that's why I'm addressing it. You know, I have had friends who have been maimed because of a jealous partner, and that's why we need to take a look at it. It is a very dangerous emotion that can spiral out of control really quickly if it is not addressed. So you got to look at your self-esteem. And your self-esteem has a lot to do with how you see yourself, how you value yourself. The next thing you need to do is you need to look at why you have these feelings of inadequacy and address that. Now, your feelings of inadequacy have to do with a lot of things, have to do maybe even with your upbringing. At some point, somewhere, someone made you feel that you were not enough, right? So you got to do the work to establish your enoughness to yourself, not to anyone else, to yourself. Because if you feel you are enough, you have no reason to fear that you're going to lose your partner or your friend. Right? So you need to address that feeling of not being enough. Possessiveness. You need to address the issue of why do you want to possess another person? Why do you feel you need to control another person? There is something wrong with you, not the other person, if you seek to control and if you seek to possess. Possessiveness is one of those things that is very, very harmful. And you need to look at why that is. Sometimes it really tracks back to feelings of abandonment, right? You need to be able to look at yourself and say, now, why is it that whenever I have a partner, I'm in a partnership, I want to possess, I want to know where you are, what you're doing, with whom you're doing it, blah, blah, blah. You need to look at those things. They are not normal, okay? They are not normal. You do not need to be policing grown people. And if your jealousy is causing that, you need to sit down and you need to sit with yourself and track back to the moments you started to feel abandoned. Where did that happen? Is it your mama who abandoned you? Is it your dad who abandoned you? Because usually some of those issues are there. You never dealt with the anger around it. A lot of people don't deal with the anger around their emotions. Because if it's a parent, hey, deal with it. Admit that it's there. That's the first step. Become aware, admit to it. And when you're admitting something to yourself, stop judging yourself. That's part of the problem with repression and not admitting what you're feeling, is you judge yourself. No one will ever. I hear people like, oh, I don't know the emotion of jealousy. I've never had it. You lie. You're lying. We've all felt jealousy at some point or another. So deal with the underlying causes of it because they track back to you. I hope I have given something that is valuable. If you think I have, please share this out. And for those people, I'm going to address this because it's really important. If you are in a partnership, a relationship, a friendship where jealousy looms large, get away from this person as quickly as you can if they will not admit their jealousy and start dealing with their personal issues. I'm begging you. It is not your responsibility to reassure a jealous person that they are enough, that they are adequate, that they shouldn't feel insecure, that you're here to stay. Because when they don't deal with the issue themselves, dude, you can chain yourself to this person's chair. You can chain yourself to this person's wrist. That will not make the jealousy go away because they have not dealt with their issues. You could walk out the door dressed like a beggar in sackcloth covered in ash. They will still be jealous. Got nothing to do with how you dress or how you look when you leave the house and everything to do with their issues that they haven't dealt with. So can you please stop contorting yourself and crippling yourself in order to make someone else feel better about something you have no control over? They do. And all your efforts will not work until that person decides to do their work. So I hope I've shared, like I said, something valuable. Please share it out to your friends, share it out to your groups, wherever you think this might be helpful to someone. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you later. Bye.